Hi, my name is Christy, also known as Sullen Girl, and I'm the author of the blog Speaking Out About Self-Injury on HealthyPlace.com. Today I want to talk about males who self-injure. And in this blog, one of my aims is to dispel some myths and misconceptions about self-injury. And so I asked some of my YouTube subscribers and my blog readers what some of the biggest misconceptions about self-injury are. And one of the responses I've gotten time and time again is that it's only females who self-injure. And people want to often know about, males who self-injure. And do males self-injure, or is it really weird for males to self-injure? And I have to tell you, it is not weird at all. In fact, it's more common than most people think. The reason why it's reported in the media that more females self-injure is because typically females are the ones who reach out and get treatment first. So when people do studies on people who self-injure, generally they go off of, people who have sought help, professional treatment for self-injury. And females tend to be more open with their feelings and what they're dealing with, whereas men in society are kind of told to, man up and don't really show your emotions and keep it to yourself. So a lot of men are really worried and kind of ashamed to admit that they have problems, whereas women tend to be a little more open. Now, self-injury is a very private act for most self-injurers, and so it's hard to get kind of a real grasp on the numbers of people who self-injure. And one study said that they thought 85% of self-injurers were women, but actually there's been some new studies going around that actually the numbers are more equal than that, men to women. And some of the differences in self-injury between men and women are that women tend to, self-injure by cutting themselves or burning themselves, whereas a lot of men can self-injure by hitting themselves or burning themselves. You see less men self-injuring by cutting themselves, but it doesn't mean that men don't cut themselves. It's just that there is a higher number of men who self-injure in other ways. Because as I've said in previous blogs here, self-injury isn't all about cutting or burning. There's lots of different things that can, make up how a person self-injures. They're also seeing a rise in male self-injury in prisons, in the military, and in homeless youth or disadvantaged youth. And that is because they're thinking that in kind of a tough environment where you don't feel like you have a lot of control, and where people control you, like the military and like prison, or if you're, in a homeless shelter or boarding school type place, they're seeing that men who are in these type of situations, self-injury is running rampant. And so it's becoming more known that men actually do self-injure, and they're, making new studies on it all the time, and there should be some books actually coming out soon, which I'll talk about in another blog. But, in conclusion of this short video blog, a lot of people ask me, is it weird that I'm a male and I self-injure, or, how common is it? And you have to know that just because the media portrays women out to be, people who self-injure and males typically don't self-injure, that is not the case. Males definitely do self-injure, and it can be really traumatic for males to admit it because it's not as socially acceptable, and people just don't understand that men can suffer from this issue too. But if you are a self-injurer and you're male, there's nothing different about you. You can get help just like females. No professional is going to look down on you because you're male. We all have ways of coping, and self-injury, unfortunately, is a very unhealthy coping mechanism, and it doesn't see, gender or age. Anyone of any gender or any age can self-injure. So that is just another myth that's out there and a misconception, and hopefully people will realize that self-injury can affect anyone and not just females. Males do self-injure too. So in my next blog, I will talk about more myths and misconceptions. If you have any requests or comments, please leave them in the comments or YouTube comments, and I will try to take video requests. Thank you so much. See you next week.